Hello students, as a part of digital education initiative of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Technical University, here is another lecture from the subject VLSI technology having subject code KEC 053. Now, today's topic we are going to cover diffusion, which is the most important process as far as your IC fabrication is concerned, and I am your faculty Sangeeta Mangesh from Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering, JSS Academy of Technical Education, Noida. So, let us check out what we are going to study today. So, as far as today's lecture is concerned, first we are going to define the process of diffusion. We need to relate it to the process of IC fabrication and device designing, and in today's class we are going to just analyze the atomic or atomistic or atomic level understanding, or we are going to gain the atomic level understanding of the diffusion process. Then further we will go for the mathematical modeling. After the lecture, I expect as a student you should be able to, what are the takeaways or what you are supposed to know is, you should be able to, students will be like, you should be able to define the diffusion, relate its importance with respect to IC fabrication, then you should be able to analyze the atomistic model of diffusion. Now, you all know diffusion is basically a process that results because of the random motion of particles in 3 dimension in a gaseous, liquid or solid medium. Now, the driving force or driving factors that result into diffusion may be first the concentration gradient, which is the most important factor. Second, the factor that affects the motion of particles is basically resulting, that is diffusivity. Then property that describes the ease with which they move through the medium. Now, this diffusivity is the property that decides or that defines the ease with which the particle can enter into the bulk substrate and carry on with its mobility within the bulk substrate. And now why do you need this? Basically, without adding impurity, you cannot get the desired electrical properties from the silicon. Now, whenever we want to design any device, you need to add either donor or acceptor impurity, and without adding N and P impurities, you cannot get the desirable electrical properties, desirable effects. Simple p-n junction if you consider, unless and until you add p type and n type impurity, you cannot form a diode. Now, whenever such designs are needed, whenever you need to alter the electrical properties to get desired behavior from the silicon as a whole, we need to carry out diffusion. That means, it is one of the important process without which no device can be fabricated. We can say bluntly like that also. So, diffusion is an important process which, unless and until you change the electrical properties, unless and until you change the surface properties, unless and until you attain desirable configuration from the or properties of the particular area or particular surface, we cannot attain those resultant effects from the device, and therefore, diffusion is an integral part of device design and thereby IC fabrication. Now, what is exactly happening in a diffusion? Of course, when you go for selective area or selective area getting like you need to carry out diffusion in a selective area, there will be definitely a mask window which will control, or only that mask window will be opened up, and the diffusing species will be exposed to that area only, and that is how through mask window we carry out this particular diffusion when you need to go for only selected area to be altered, or the properties of the selected area are to be altered. That means we will expose only this much area where we want to carry out diffusion, and subsequently we expose that particular area to the diffusing species and we will alter its properties. So, this is what exactly is happening when you create a MOS device and you have N plus diffusion, or you have source and drain getting created within the P substrate. So, this basically and that is why we need to know what exactly is happening in this particular process. So, every device without altering its properties, bulk properties, we cannot have the desirable electrical outcomes, and those electrical characteristics if you want to obtain, or those electrical properties you need to design or you want to make a tailor made thing. So, that cannot be achieved without diffusion. Now, what are the parameters, or what is exactly the driving force, or what you are going to be concerned about when you carry out the diffusion? So, there are different aspects or different goals. So, one of the goal when you are going for diffusion is you try to control the dopant concentration. Second is you take care of the total dopant concentration within that area. You also want uniformity of the dopant. Many times you want abrupt junctions, in certain devices you want abrupt junctions, in certain devices you want to have a tailor made electrical characteristics, and therefore you have uniform dopant profile. So, that is why you need, or you take care, or you have to take care of this uniformity of the goal behind this, like different characteristics, different aspects to be taken care of during the diffusion process, or which are to be So, always diffusion is studied to attain these particular goals. One of them is we have seen total dopant concentration, then uniformity of the dopant profile, and lastly you should be able to reproduce the same profile again and again. So, unless and until if you device A you want to design and device B you want to design, if the devices are to be identical, you must have ability to produce the same diffusion profile, and therefore, this particular technique or this particular process is studied in detail, and therefore, going ahead with this study, prior to going for mathematical modeling, in this lecture we are going to study exactly what is resulting into the process of diffusion at the atomic level. Now, since the diffusion in the silicon is directly associated with the native point defects. Now, you know silicon, all the crystal structures, like for example diamond also, there are so many, you do not have all the the crystal places getting occupied. So, you do not have many times perfect crystals, and the interatomic separation between the crystals can lead to several, or orientation can lead to several point defects, and these point defects are one of the causes, or these are one of the factors which are mainly governing the diffusion process. Now, impurities related to defects arise mainly, what all impurities you add? Now, we add impurities from group 3, and these group 3 elements you already know: boron, gallium, indium, then and aluminum basically, and you have 5, these are the typical impurities which have been added from group 3 and group 5, which are basically P and N type impurities that are added into the silicon. Now, why do we prefer these impurities? The reason being, they are highly soluble in silicon, they dissolve almost completely on the substitutional sites and are easily ionized. Now, since they are highly soluble, they can penetrate, they can diffuse into this silicon and can get easily ionized, you can get the desired electrical properties from them. These native point defects which exist in silicon can be in the form of vacancies, can be in the form of interstitials, or they can have combinations of vacancy in a complex form, or combinations of different things, but mainly we will focus on vacancies and interstitials. Every material transport in silicon like self and dopant diffusion is influenced by these point defects, and therefore, thorough knowledge of these point defects is very essential prior to going for understanding this diffusion process on the mathematical domain. So, what is this atomic level diffusion, or what is this atomistic model of diffusion in case of silicon? Now, you know, at elevated temperature the lattice atoms vibrate, and they vibrate around the equilibrium lattice site. Whenever these vibrations are happening, there is finite probability that this host atom can acquire sufficient energy and it can get dislodged from the lattice site and can create an interstitial or create a vacant site within the bulk crystal. Now, this bulk crystal will have such a vacancy, and this diffusion is very possible because of at these particular vacant sites. When the neighboring impurity, suppose you are having this particular substrate and you are exposing it to diffusing species outside. So, naturally there is a tendency that these species will enter or migrate into these vacant sites which are available in silicon, and such mechanism we call it as vacancy diffusion. Such mechanism we call it as vacancy diffusion, and these vacancies are created because of the lattice vibrations, and since the atoms gain sufficient energy, leave their own sites and migrate somewhere else. So, these are basically creating vacancies, and these vacancies in turn create or enhance the diffusion, and that is why we call them as vacancy diffusion. When the impurity moves by jumping into the vacancy, we call it as vacancy assisted diffusion, and if the migrating atom is host atom itself, that means within the silicon itself the atom is like silicon atom only is creating vacancy, occupying its vacancy, again migrating somewhere else, we call it as a self diffusion, and this self diffusion is because of the vacant sites or vacancies. Now, this is what is being shown over here. Here you have a position 1, this position is okay, this has gone now, it was here, just see it was third at the third location, now it has moved and it has gone on to the 4th position. So, that means this atom has moved from position A to position B, and such mobility is very rare in case of silicon, but such mobilities do exist within the crystal lattice, crystal lattice sites because of the vibrations. Now, what is happening in silicon is this particular thing. Now, what is happening? Please understand, here you are having the species, and these species because of the lattice vibrations they gain sufficient, this particular atom will gain sufficient energy, and from here it will move to the next site creating vacancy over here. Now, this vacancy can attract dopant species and that can lead to diffusion. So, this is the most observed phenomena in case of silicon. Another process is interstitial. Now, what is interstitial? The atom moves from one place into another without occupying the lattice site. The mechanism is known as interstitial diffusion. When the such atom, basically this is happening, you already know that in case of diamond you have got that hexagonal structure and you have lot of interatomic separation available. Now, such diffusing species in case of atoms or in case of what you call bulk materials where the interatomic separation is too too far, all the crystal sites are not occupied. So, the separation between the atom is so sufficient enough, so that the atom can easily pass through, and such kind of things we call, or such kind of mobility or such kind of movement of the dopant species within the bulk crystal, we call it as interstitial movement. So, interstitial basically moves from one place to another occupying the lattice site, and the mechanism we call it as interstitial diffusion. The atom migrates from one interstitial site to another interstitial site. So, we call them as direct interstitial diffusion or direct interstitial. The effective diffusivity that results because of the point defects is the combination of diffusivities due to neutral and electrically charged vacancies and interstitials. So, together many times there are combinations of these interstitials and vacancies, and therefore, you have the resultant diffusion happening. So, there are three basic phenomena which are observed in silicon, and we are going to study them in detail. So, very first phenomena in silicon is the substitutional. Now, what is this substitutional? I told you already, this is the impurity which is okay, this is the silicon crystal, and silicon crystal is exposed to the impurity atom. Now, what is happening? This impurity atom is finding a vacant position over here within the silicon crystal, and it is entering into occupying this vacant site. This is occupying the vacant site and occupying the, or many times the energy. Now, imagine the energy in this case. Now, why we are concerned? The energy of this particular species which is occupying the vacant site will be comparatively much higher, and many times what happens is, when it is okay, if the energy is sufficient enough, or if the energy is high enough, it can dislodge the silicon atom also many times. So, most of the most of the materials which are happening or which are moving into this particular silicon through substitutional impurities is most important material are the metals or group 5 such as phosphorus, antimony, all those group 5 elements. Group 5 elements have 5 valency, excess of electrons. So, naturally even if they occupy these vacant sites, this excess of electron is always there to carry out the conductivity, and that is why whatever these species are entering, that is dopant species are entering into such through substitutional diffusion, they will be always active to carry out the electrical conductivity, or they will be active species even they enter into the host they replace the, or even if they enter into the host, that is silicon. So, whenever these species are entering into the silicon, they are remaining active. Second category is the interstitial. Now, these interstitials are basically moving from the gaps which are available. So, naturally there is no obstruction, there is no not much energy required. So, naturally these materials, okay, these interstitial impurities include there are typical interstitial impurities which are available, and those impurities include combination of interstitial and substitutional. Many times they occupy the host position also if they have adequate energy. So, you have something known as gold, copper, all these move from silicon or with these particular through interstitials. Third category is this one. Now, here this is a typical example of boron, where the impurity interstitial site is first occupied, okay, it enters into the silicon as an interstitial site, but then its activation energy is high enough to dislodge the silicon atom, and then occupies the host atom site and then remains active throughout. So, here, and therefore, we call this as interstitial C. Okay. So, first is substitutional, where the vacancy is substituted by the diffusing species. Second is interstitial, where there is no obstruction within the separating what you call distances of the atomic sites, we are okay, interatomic separating distances, these impurity species can easily migrate or move within the crystal lattice without any obstruction. And third is both combination, or it is basically replacing the host atom with the activation energy available and creating, or first it enters into as an interstitial, but then subsequently occupies the host or dislodges the host atom and occupies its position. So, these are the three basic phenomena which are observed in silicon as far as diffusion is concerned. Now, here the same thing is again directed or indicated. This particular host atom, or this is the dopant. Now, this dopant has entered into the silicon as an interstitial, but subsequently okay, it has dislodged. See, it was at this particular site, it has dislodged and again become interstitial. So, it is basically behaving as it has entered into the vacant site and it is migrating through interstitial C also. So, that means whenever it is getting interstitial locations, it is able to move. Whenever the moment it is having sufficient activation energy to dislodge the host atom, it will occupy its position also. Again, if it finds the interstitial C, it will like interstitial positions, or there is some gap in between, it will again migrate. So, that is how this particular species or dopant species will be active throughout within the bulk crystal, and since they are electrically active, they can give you, or that can result into desirable electrical, they can result into getting or make us possible to get obtain the desirable characteristics from the silicon. So, this is what is the importance of it. Now, here we are having another example which is gold, and gold is basically diffusing via interstitial sites, and therefore, very deep implants of golds are possibly be created, or they can be easily created within the silicon crystal. You can have very deep penetration or very deeply penetrated gold implants can be created in case of silicon, and this particular movement of gold is mainly through interstitials. So, how this interstitial is moving? Just see, there is no obstruction for the interstitial. It is coming over here, it has got again gap, moving here, again moving here, again moving here, again moving. So, wherever you have the separation or wherever the interatomic gap is available for its mobility, it will keep on moving, and naturally such species will not require sufficient, or they will not require much activation energy, and these species can penetrate deep into the bulk substrate. There is no obstruction for them. So, if they have sufficient energy, they can aram se penetrate deep into the silicon substrate, and that is why you have shown here, it is being shown, this is the energy which is being shown. So, without losing energy, they can penetrate into the substrate and can very easily form deep dopant profiles. The need, or why we are studying this particular process, because we need to relate the point defects and the diffusion resulting because of the point defect to the overall behavior what we are going to get out of it, and thereby we are going to focus on the differences or the profiles resultant what we get from these different point defects. We have seen 3 point defects or 3 basic point defects which are resulting into diffusion in silicon: substitutional, which are because of the vacancies; interstitials, interatomic separations, okay, there is no obstruction, the gap between the structure, because no crystal structure is perfect. So, whatever gaps are there, between those gaps these species will keep on moving without any obstruction. And third is, we have seen interstitial C, where initially they will enter as the interstitial and subsequently they will replace the host atom, dislodging it, occupy its site, again move, again occupy its site, and subsequently they will be continuously remain electrically active. When we see that, we must know the diffusion constant is basically function of independent, this is temperature independent quantity and this activation energy. So, it is function of d0 e raised to the power minus Ea, that is activation energy, upon kT. Now, this activation energy in the interstitial is much less as compared to substitutional impurity, and therefore, mobility of interstitial species is much faster within the crystal lattice. The dependence of this diffusivity is heavy on temperature. This diffusivity depends on temperature, and temperature being very important parameter, we have to consider it whenever you need to understand the diffusion profile or when you need to carry out the diffusion within the substrate, or for attaining a particular profile you need to take care of the temperature. Another thing what you have to remember is, it is determined, there are various practical or experiments being carried out to understand the profiles for different temperatures, different conditions, and the modeling has also been done. We will see those modelings also, but please remember always the diffusivity in terms of activation energy is defined as D is equal to d0 e raised to the power minus Ea or E upon kT. Now, this d0 is the frequency factor, E is the activation energy in electron volts, T is the temperature in Kelvin, and K is the Boltzmann constant. In metals or in p type, in substitutional impurities specifically, since the activation energy is higher, the value of activation energy lies around 3 to 4 electron volts, whereas in interstitial diffusion the value of activation energy is less than 1 electron volt. By measuring the diffusivity as a function of temperature, we can speculate how the diffusion has happened, whether it was dominated by interstitial or whether it has dominated by substitutional, or what was the phenomena or atomic phenomena behind the diffusion process as a whole. So, unless until, so here we have seen already the importance behind studying this particular what you call physical or actual process of diffusion is, we should know how exactly it is happening. Unless and until you know the physical phenomena that is happening, we cannot mathematically model it or understand its mathematical model or correlate its events to the mathematical analogy. And therefore, we have first studied the diffusion process at the atomic level, that is interstitial and substitutional. When we have substitutional and interstitial diffusion happening, we have correlated it or we have related it with respect to its activation energy and in terms of diffusivity, thereby in terms of diffusivities. So, we have seen that when the activation energy is more, in case of substitutional impurities you have activation energy high, and therefore, the diffusivity or the rate at which the diffusion will happen will be more. Whereas, in the first case when we have but the activation energy is much larger. In the second case there is no obstruction, though the activation energy is very less, they can there is no obstruction, they can easily penetrate into the interstitial sites, go deep into the substrate, and without causing any harm we can create very good deep diffusion profiles of such materials which can diffuse through interstitials. Whereas, those materials which are diffusing through substitutional impurities are to be monitored carefully, their profiles are to be taken handled very carefully. So, thirdly, you should be able to discuss the overall process of diffusion in terms of atomistic model, that is you should be able to explain in terms of substitutional diffusion, in terms of interstitial diffusion, and in terms of your interstitial C. And if you are able to understand this physical phenomena of diffusion, we can proceed further for the next, where we are going to study the mathematical model of diffusion. Thank you, God bless and good luck.